Show! Good evening and welcome to a very special 10-minute turbo show. Well, I say special. This is special. This is the Sega Saturn and my shooting collection. And what I'd like to do on tonight's show is show you Sexy Parodius, which is the third game in the series, which I've been reviewing, together with Chatting Parodius here, and first one, Parodius Dar. That concludes the trilogy of Parodius games, and to some extent I'm rather glad that it does. And I'll also be briefly showing you the hardware that myself and my reviewing team use on these shooting games, and explaining our rating system, which, you know, could confuse people. Alright, so I'm Matt, I'm the chief reviewer and editor of the Saturn shooting games in the channel. I'm joined by my assistant reviewer Gary Stardust, the bulletproof Brummy.
Get that fucking camera out of my face! I'm trying to defeat the Bordeaux Empire, for goodness sake! This is bloody impossible, this after. Oh my goodness, damn!
Right, okay, so while Gary finalises his life, we will be joined in a moment by our temporary assistant reviewer.
Hello and good evening, I got my bloody...
This is the Sega Saturn hardware, so let's have a quick look at this. Sega Saturn, this one's a modified UK PAL version, has a little 50Hz, 60Hz switch, in case you feel like being a wanker and playing it in 50Hz. It's also been voided, warranty seal, and it comes with a sort of a cartridge switch that is like a region switch in there. You might be wondering what's inside this little case, which I'm using as a sort of prop. This is in fact two Sega Dreamcast there. Bit of Dreamcast love for no real reason. Okay, so this one's the Japanese I think this is a Mark I Saturn, in fact. Mark I by the virtue of the blue oval buttons there. And this hasn't got any modifications on it, and I did actually fry it once by putting 240 volts in there, so do be careful, keep to your 110 volts. And on this side is a Saturn fighting stick, Mark II. This one's got the micro switches. I know not everybody rates these sticks, but to be honest I can't be asked to get a virtuous stick, they're too big and heavy, so this is done for me. It's got turbo switches and auto fire. It's a nice metal base, nice and sort of slimline, so no complaints there from me. You might get a standard if you bought one of these consoles, either a grey or a black standard 6-button joypad, or if you're a ponce like me, you might have gone out and bought Nights into Dreams for the special 3D controller, which we've got to be honest is fantastic for a D-pad. There's a real chunky little D-pad on that, completely, well, not that much better than those really, but to be honest, it's the same D-pad. I've never noticed that. Now let me give you a close-up. You won't be able to hear me because my microphone is behind this box. So, yeah, that's a little beauty on there. And that's a little beauty on there. Très similar. Très similar. Okay, so looking towards the game end of this setup, these are more or less all Japanese import shooting games, with the exception of these two flanking on the sides there. On the left we have Midway, otherwise known as Williams Arcade Hits. Thanks to Vintage Video Game Greek for buying me this and posting it over. Do appreciate that, Greek. And on this side we have what's this one called? Galactic Attack, otherwise known as Layer Section, otherwise known as Ray Storm or Ray Force, whichever one of those. Apart from that, these little babies are all Japanese, and I have been reviewing them for over 18 months now, and I would say I am more or less 2/3 of the way, 3/5 of the way through. As I upload these reviews, and I'd like to welcome the Sega Age website to my channel, where I'll be posting up my reviews as they come in. My ultimate aim really with these reviews is to cover all of the shooting games on the Saturn, at least all of the import games. And after I've done that, I'll be making one big grandiose mega video showing all of them and doing some kind of roundup. I'm looking forward to that, but in the meantime there's plenty of games for me to get down and review with my colleagues. So without further ado, let us begin. Now you all know that I love my shoot 'em ups. The action, the graphics, the general playability. Oh.
With a fucking Parodius.
And some nice helix lasers there on one of the other characters. Very, very nice effects. Again, a better version thereof than the previous version. And again, showing you with a slightly different ship, the Vic Viper again.
You'd last some flange. Hey, it was a joke. So I guess we won't be playing that much more then.
Overall, 3. Which brings us to the third part in our series, Sexy Parodius, Konami, 1996. Well, to start off with, we can tell you that this is the 5th instalment in the Parodius series. It was also ported to the PlayStation 1. Backstory is that it's about an agency that helps clients with problems. The characters are the workers in the agency. Go about solving them. Good selection of characters here. These are basically all the ones that you get in some of the other Parodius series games, and they're various skills and attributes. I always go for the stupid man on the paper plane and the blue blob, personally, but it's up to you. Choose whoever you want. So on each level there is a mission of sorts. The first level is basically to defeat the boss, but then they get a little bit more tricky throughout the game, such as collecting coins, defeating a certain number of specific enemies or the like. One little trick that I've heard about is that you can play this with 2 players, and there is an added benefit, not only of the extra firepower, but that you can perform a special move when your 2 characters are in proximity to each other. I didn't get to do that on this version. I'm under good authority that it's a nice little feature. So, playability. This is a massive improvement on the previous Parodius games in my view. There's all sorts of variation here, including a branching level system depending on which whether you fail the mission or not. The characters work really well, the firepower power-ups work a lot better than in other versions. And if you choose auto on your weapon option at the beginning, you don't have to fucking go back to the checkpoints, which is a major advantage over previous Parodius games. This bit is one of the sort of fun sections where you get to go through a bit of a maze, and you come to a boss who appears to have some kind of genital target.
Now that's what I call a real bellend.
And you'll see there the familiar Kiku beam being used to good effect, along with a super bomb. There's also a few other options to keep those bosses at bay. Well, now it's mission 3 and time for some references to Konami hits. Any idea what this one is, Derek?
Looks like Silent Hill or Dracula to me.
The clue is in the soundtrack, which starts any moment now. Gotta say, this is a delicious level.
It's bloody Castlevania. Oh, you're bending my ear.
So after that downhill turn in the music, we get launched into one of these vertically scrolling areas where you've got stuff to do. And in this case, you've got to stamp out those rats. Not too easy, because the doors don't stay open for very long. See how many you can whack, and when you come out the other side, you've got some boss fighting to do.
You can give me the brick anytime, love.
I presume you are talking about the Medusa's icy stare, which will make you frozen for several seconds.
Doesn't affect you when you've already got wood though, does it? my ear.
Now, mission 4, and my extensive research has not concluded on the origin of this level, which looks to be a cross between something like Cotton and some sort of mining game. Interested to know if anybody can locate this parody level. In any case, it's pretty tough with some moving scenery, many obstacles, and lots of death. I guess now is a good time to reflect on the overall presentation of the game. Oh, hang on a minute, who's this? Oh my goodness. Go for the scrotum. I think that's the best tip in these situations. Although it appears to suggest you shouldn't be shooting his scrotum.
Going for his balls only increases his energy.
Has this guy got a cocaine habit or something? In any case, you need to take out his nose and bore him a new nostril. Okay, nearing the end of the levels that I played through now, and I thought I'd just round up with a few overall comments. Generally, graphics are pretty nice on this game, and there is some nice sort of background detail. And, you know, bosses are okay, weapons are good. Certainly the difficulty curve is a lot fairer than in the previous versions. So overall, this is definitely my favourite Parodius game in the series. Nothing to do with being a perv whatsoever, the promise of a bit of skin. This is entirely a kind of rational view based on the game's credibility. Get some more of those goddamn toes out the way, I want to see a... Well, you know, there's not a lot here for the hentai perv, but you know, it has its sexy moments. You know, a bit of skirt here and there, a bit of titillation, but it's not the reason you go out and buy it. You know, if you're a Parodius fan, I can imagine this game's already on your radar. For those of you that aren't Parodius fans, I'd say check it out if you like your colourful shooters. If you haven't got a Parodius game at all, this is a really good one to get into the series because it is a much easier game to get into, better difficulty curve.
Cracking arse on this there. Let's go in close on those arses now. There you go, gentlemen. You happy now? We've seen some arse. Call that Sexy Parodius. I think I'll deliver the goods for you.
Okay, time to summarise with some scores. The highest scoring game of the three, in my opinion, this one. Graphics, I'll give it a 7 for some nice colourful sprites and backgrounds. Sound only gets a 3 because the tunes are still very annoying and the sound effects ain't much good either. Playability, though, gets a whopping 8. There's loads of addictive quality in this game. Difficulty curve is just about right, and it is the best game of the three as well. Value for money is a 7, coming in at 30 quid, so overall a 6. Don't say we don't bring you sex appeal on this channel. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed the reviews. Thank you very much for watching. Good night. Keep gaming. This has been the 10-Minute Turbo Show. Good evening.